Cricket, there's no other sport like it for drama, and we had it all today.
So what a way to finish an incredible series. A clean sweep for India, a bit nervy at the end. We're going to look back at all the action, and there was a lot of action in the game today. India beat England by 7 wickets. We'll look back, myself, John Norman, and the main man, Darren Gough. And don't forget to like and subscribe.
It has been a quite magnificent one-day international. It has been a wonderful, wonderful series, and India can rightly say that they have been the better team across all 3 formats against England.
Goughy, where do you even begin? That absolutely defied belief at times.
Well, yeah, there were some strange decisions right at the end of play when it comes down to player of the series and player of the match. There was some ridiculous fielding. There was some genius fielding. There was some unbelievable batting. There was some rubbish batting. There was some great bowling. There was some terrible bowling. That game, this series, has had everything. 2 fantastic sides, giving the opportunities to some younger players throughout the series. I've really enjoyed it. There's moments that just take your breath away. And today we've seen a few. We saw Rishabh Pant's innings today, which was out of this world. Some ridiculous shots. We saw Hardik Pandya play some ridiculous shots. But then for England, just to top it off, Sam Curran, who's not a regular, let's be honest about this, in England's probably best 11, 50 over side, as now he's put a stamp on his name with a great chance of starting moving forward, because that, for me, that innings was just out of this world. From England having no chance to playing a very mature innings throughout and playing some fantastic shots.
Well, look, you're going to hear from Virat Kohli, you're going to hear from Jos Buttler, we're going to hear Goughy Singh. There's so much to talk about, but let's get on with it.
Hardik goes high and hard again. That's going to be 6 more. He destroys spinners, folks. Livingston towel dangling out from behind his trousers has been lofted back over his head by Rishabh Pant.
Well, Goughy mentioned Rishabh Pant, but it really was that partnership, wasn't it, that actually made this match reach levels that I didn't really expect when India were 156 for 4. Him and Hardik Pandya, and this is the thing with one-day cricket, or modern-day cricket. They just lost 4 wickets, right, India? There was still 25 overs to go, and you just felt England were in control, and the next 10 overs were going to belong to England no matter what. And then this new breed of cricketer comes in, Hardik Pandya and Rishabh Pant. They hit 99 in 11 overs, and they hit to all parts. And within about 4 overs of the partnership, the worried expression on Jos Buttler's face was there to tell, wasn't it? And it really set in wheels, in motion, a game that defied belief at times. But that, for me, was the crucial part of the match.
Of course, and in 10 years' time, every player's going to play like that. We better get used to it, people. You've heard it here, but that's how everyone is going to play. You see the players now like your Smiths, your Williamsons, your Roots, who play your Kohli to a certain extent, who build in innings and expand right at the end with their strike rates. But the future is right there. You've seen it. Sam Curran, Hardik Pandya, Krunal Pandya, and Rishabh Pant, Shreyas Iyer. Right? All these guys, that's the way everyone is going to play in 10, 15 years' time. So get used to it, people. You have seen it. Some fantastic batting. But I think, to a certain extent, India were played the opposition, because they've seen the last 2 games, but getting to 150 after 30 and then gambling and having an unbelievable last 10, 15 overs wasn't going to work. And they felt as though they needed 350, 360. Let's be honest about it. Yeah. They were disappointed when they went off today with that score. They were disappointed, India, because the nerves, knowing how England play, and it was proven right, even at the end, when you've got number 8 playing the way he did, Sam Curran, was just enough, because England just keep on going. They back themselves all the way down the order to chase. So that partnership, I'm with you, was so vital for India. But the way they kept going, it wasn't any nerves whatsoever. It was still Pant trying to sweep, doing the Dilshan scoop over his head, or stepping across his stumps and flicking over square leg. Hardik Pandya hitting 6s galore. I mean, he just stands still, Pandya, strong base, and backs himself to clear the boundary. The future. It's right there.
It is amazing. And I think we're all guilty sometimes of looking back at the past and thinking we had it better back then. But let's hear from a man who has just presided over an India side that has beaten England in all 3 formats. And he started with the bat himself, Virat Kohli. Let's hear what he had to say following today's win.
We knew it's going to be a tough game. England's not going to throw in the towel at any stage, and that's exactly what we saw in the end. I think Sam played a really good innings to keep them in the hunt, but I think our bowlers kept taking wickets at the right periods during the second innings and made sure that we put enough pressure on them and eventually got into a situation where they had to get across the line. Before that, it was the other way around where we had to finish the game. So the mindset shifted very quickly in the last couple of overs, and I think Hardik and Nattu were brilliant to finish it off.
So much is said about Virat Kohli as a batsman and how he is in the field, but there's one other thing, and it's something that has been said, but one of the things that has so impressed me about the way India have gone about their cricket, you've made mention of it on talkSPORT too, is that the young guys, they're not hidden away at number 6, are they?
Nope.
They are absolutely thrown into the middle and you either sink or swim. They've all swum. Even today, when we went to the final 3 overs and it looked like England, if they could just get past Kumar, you thought they were going to be in pole position. Hardik Pandya with that penultimate over, I know he's been around for a little bit, but Natarajan as well, Thakur. I mean, these guys, new to the international game, in the pressure moments, all those batsmen you mentioned a short while ago, wow, what riches India have got.
Well, England have got them as well. Livingston, the way he come to the crease and the way he's played, you've got to be impressed by that. He was fantastic. Sam Curran getting his opportunity and playing all 3 games. So England have had some good players as well. But I think India, you're right, whoever they've brought in has stood up and to be counted. And Natarajan, absolutely, that last over, he was literally brought into this side because he is a good death bowler. And he proved it right there. But the winning over was the Hardik Pandya.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a couple of catches down as well in that over, but it was a terrific pressurised over. And I think I said on air, this over, the penultimate over, is the vital one here. And I thought Natarajan would have taken that because he's the better death bowler. But Pandya stood up and he took the responsibility. After having a mare in the field, by the way, he dropped a couple of catches. But there he went and bowled a fantastic over in what was a great game.
In again is Bhuvneshwar Kumar. That is magnificent from Ben Stokes. That is, oh no, it's not. Oh, it's been dropped.
Mark Wood faces up, eyes wide open. Pandya goes for the stuffs. Mark Wood has a massive swipe and he's going to go. It's been dropped. I do not believe it. Hardik is in again to Sam Curran. Sam Curran has scooped this. He's tried to scoop it, fine. Oh, no, he dropped again.
Well, I made mention of it earlier. Catches don't always win matches. I mean, just to give you a little idea of what it was like here in the talkSPORT studio. So the guys were doing their thing on air and I was producing the action and reporting on talkSPORT. Now, England are playing in the football, right? They're playing Albania. Now, normally everybody's watching England play football, but today everybody on the production floor was watching England play cricket rather than watching England play football. And the atmosphere on the production floor when those catches went down, well, I mean, it just made me think about what that stadium would have been like if it was full today, because it would have been off the scale. Right.
Just to let you know, the drama in everything. I mean, I've played a lot of cricket over the years in some high-pressurised situations, but I was nervous today commentating on every single delivery. You looked at both dressing rooms when we were watching it on the TV. You had Ravi Shastri, who's been around for years. He's a dinosaur. He must be, what, 70 now? He must be. And he was stood up, giving it the teapot. What is going on? Not happy with his team. Walking. He had to walk away because he was angry. You got the England dressing room, Owen Morgan swallowing about every 3 seconds. Chris Silverwood wiping his brow. Paul Collingwood biting his nails. And that's how it is, because in those situations, that's what cricket is about. That's what makes cricket a dramatic sport to watch and commentate on. And if you'd have been listening in your car to us on radio to that moment, you would have been nervous sat in your car without even seeing pictures. You're watching it on TV, it's exactly the same. Cricket, there's no other sport like it for drama. And we had it all today in a series decider, 1-1, number 1 versus number 2 in the world, and it went right down to the last over. What more do you want? Cricket's beautiful.
Brilliant. Well, look, I'm not sure he's feeling that cricket is beautiful at the moment because he is on the back end of a defeat. But let's hear from the standing skipper for England, Jos Buttler.
One heck of a one-day international. Unfortunately, England didn't quite have enough to get over the line. How did you see today?
Yeah, obviously disappointed there not to get over the line, but they took a fantastic innings from Sam Curran to get us to close. A great game. I thought there was some mistakes made on both sides really throughout the game. I think to start with the ball, we let India get away a little bit and dragged it back. They got away from us again, and then we dragged it back well at the end, and we were quite comfortable chasing that score. Obviously, the last few games we've seen that sort of be about a par score, and we just never quite got the big partnerships going in the chase. We had some soft dismissals and lost some wickets when we were threatening to get partnerships going, but and it took an outstanding effort from a very talented young man to take it so close.
Yeah, we'll get more on Sam Curran from you in a second. Just can you fill us in on the situation with yourselves in the field when India were 157 for 4? Was Mark Wood was off the field then? Was there an issue with Mark being able to bowl, because it seemed as though that might have been an ideal time perhaps to try and go for the kill when Hardik came to the crease to join Rishabh Pant?
Yeah, obviously it's been incredibly hot here, and Mark Wood had been feeling a bit unwell. He'd spent some time off the field, and then he couldn't bowl for however long he'd been off for. So of course we'd have loved to have brought Woody back earlier. I thought we pegged them back well after the start they got with those wickets with the spinners, and then they Pant and Pandya played well again, and then we dragged it back again at the end. So Mark Wood bowled fantastically well, and it's a shame we couldn't get him to bowl earlier. Yes.
Yeah, sorry, it was difficult to sort of know exactly what was happening from back here, but we surmised that might be the case. But it was just good to get it from the horse's mouth, as it were. So 329 at the halfway point. As you rightly said, you guys chased down the target 2 days ago with plenty of overs to spare. There must have been a thought, pitch is a good one. We've got a very, very good chance of doing the same thing again.
Yeah, absolutely. We're very confident in chasing that score down, and actually throughout the whole chase, even though we lost all those wickets, the run rate was never really going to be the issue. So we had some soft dismissals, I think, when we look back, and some poor. Made some poor mistakes really when we were threatening to get partnerships going, and that's always going to hurt you in these games. But outstanding effort from Sam Curran to show that maturity and skill. We're all very proud of him, and it's a shame that he couldn't quite get us over the line in that last over.
Where does Sam sit now in the pecking order? I mean, obviously both teams have not been at absolute full strength throughout the course of this series. Sam is somebody who perhaps has not really had much of a run in one-day international cricket. Is he somebody that you're thinking, well, this is another great addition to the squad, or does it look as though he might find himself with one of the permanent shirts in your side?
Yeah, it's probably questions for the coach and the captain full time, but he's done himself no harm, has he? I think throughout this tour, there's been opportunities for guys. There's a few guys who aren't here in this squad, so that's given opportunities to some others, and they've come in and done really well, and will have gained valuable experience. It's been a big plus of the one-day cricket in England to expand the pool of players who are capable of playing at this level, and Sam will have gained huge amounts of experience from playing in that, and obviously looking forward to the IPL. We've got a lot of guys who will gain big experience from that. So the more we can expand that talent pool, the more competition for places there is in the side, that should push the levels of our performance higher and higher.
So Jos Buttler there, but look, let's look back at the series as a whole, the tests, the T20s and the one-dayers, right? Just one consistent theme emerged from me.
England lost.
Apart from England losing, England were in positions to win 1-1 with 2 to play ahead of the pink ball test. Archer to come back into the side, Jimmy Anderson, and England won the toss and they blew it. Fast forward to the T20s, 2-1 up with 2 to play. They won the toss again twice. They lost the series. And again here, the ODI series. the crucial moments, the big moments where it's really been in the balance, or even with England with their noses in front, they still haven't managed to get over the line. And that is something they will realise and know. But crucially, India just shows what an incredibly powerful team they are. England didn't just lose those moments, India won those moments. And credit to them, because Virat Kohli, he could do everything, but he can't win a toss. I think he lost 10 of the 12. And yet, all 3 trophies are India's.
Listen, we could talk about the two teams being so close, and touring India, it's very, very difficult no matter how good you are, no matter if you're number 1 ranked team in the world going to play a test match. But what the difference in the test matches was obvious. It was the spin department of India. Yes, we could talk about the pitches not being acceptable for test cricket, and when on day 1 it's going through the top and all that. But both teams had to play on it, and India found a way of playing, and they had better spinners than we did. Come the white ball, I actually thought, when I saw the team India picked, that England were favourites for the T20, 100%. I thought we would win the T20 series, especially when we were winning the toss of the coin as well. We ended up losing that. The 50 overs I thought could go either way. I really did. And it was close, 2 good teams, 2 brilliant teams. Owen Morgan was a massive loss. I think especially in that second game. The amazing thing is, we won the second game, and I thought Josh made a couple of mistakes in the second game. And then today, the vital part, which we've not mentioned yet, was because Mark Wood went off, and he was not feeling too good with the temperature. He felt a little bit under the weather. And when we had him in trouble, that's when you turn to your Mark Wood, the pacey balls, right, knock over one of Pandya or Pant, and England are right into them, right into their tail. But he couldn't bowl because he'd not been back on the field long enough, and then that's when India just accelerated and took the game away from England. But a fantastic advert for cricket, the Test series, the T20 series, and 50 over series. And that's why cricket's alive. And you have got some players that have really impressed this series on both sides. And I cannot wait for India to come to the UK this summer. And then guess what? We go back to India for the World T20 World Cup. What a fantastic year we've got of cricket.
Absolutely. Plenty of action, plenty of drama, and also a few laughs along the way. Have a listen to this.
When you have plans and you're talking about McCullum, I remember bowling to Herschel Gibbs, and he was one again who liked the ball going away from him, believe it or not, in one-day cricket. And he used to want to cut all the time and hitting it through backward point. So I used to sing to myself when I bowled at him that song, Bring It Back. You know what I mean? So I used to say, Bring It Back to Herschel Gibbs. Because I had to
Which song?
I'm not going to sing it. We'll get
Bring it back.
We've got
was
the singing.
Was it Moloko?
Bring it back. Bring it back. Bring it back. Bring it back to Herschel.
So there you go. You've seen him take wickets, you've seen him dance, and now you've heard him sing as well. Goffey. He's a triple threat, that's what they call it in the music biz, where you can sing, act and dance. Well, a triple threat in everything.
You know something, I had to sing, and it is a true story. When I used to bowl to Herschel Gibbs, I had to sing, because just to remind myself, but the guy likes to give himself a little bit of room, hip behind backward point, anything just short of a length, or anything, he used to just open the face and play it through the offside. So it used to be a little trigger for me just to sing to myself the song, and I knew I had to bring it back to him and nip it back. So it worked.
It really did. Look, let's bring it back to the cricket. India are going to be visiting 5 tests. Now, they've won in Australia now twice. They have, of course, beaten Australia in India. They've beaten England in India. What do you expect is going to happen when India come to England in July and August?
All I know is, but India have got an hard selection. They've got 10 fast bowlers I've counted, who they could pick. Their starting 11, especially on the bowling attack, is going to be hard. Jadeja's going to be back.
Yep.
Right? He's going to have to play probably as a batter. He will bat as a batter, probably batting at 6. You've got then Hardik Pandya will come in instead of Washington Sundar because he gives them that seam option. You've got Bumrah. Remember, you've got Ishant Sharma, who's just got 300 test wickets. He could be left out because Mohammed Shami comes back into the side. You've got Kumar has put himself back in the ball game. Oof. We've seen the skills he's got in English conditions. So he could come back in. So I think it's 2 fantastic teams. They're going to be hard selection. for both teams. Do England go back to having Broad and Anderson in the starting 11?
With the Ashes coming up at the end of the year.
There's a lot of cricket to play this summer. New Zealand, the guys are coming back from the IPL. They might need a little bit of a break. They're going to be tired. India series, which I'm looking forward to. And then it's the one-day festival of England going to Pakistan, which is groundbreaking in itself. Then you've got the T20 World Cup. Then you've got the Ashes. What more do you want? And then just on top of that, after Christmas, you've got the West Indies. Wow, what a year of cricket. If you're a cricket fan, you're in for a treat. Absolutely.
You'll be able to follow all of that as well. Following on podcast, you can download that wherever you get your podcast, the talkSPORT app. And you never know, Outside Edge might be back. But for now, that is the end of the show today. I hope you've enjoyed. Look, we've been more than privileged to have so many, hundreds of thousands of views over the last couple of months. And it's thanks to Darren Goff and Kate Cross, Mark Nicholas, Steve Harmison, Gareth Batty and Alex Tudor. So big thanks to them for joining me throughout. But hey, as we say, they would say au revoir. We don't say goodbye because cricket never ever stops. But thanks for joining us.